let's move on to what I see a lot, which is the kettlebell, right? The kettlebell showed up into the gyms quite some time ago. There is a lot of utility in the kettlebell that I really like. They're one of my favorites, and mostly because of the word I just used, which is the utility. They're very mobile. They're very versatile. I can push, pull, press, rotate. I need very little space to do that in. It takes very little real estate in my gym. It takes up very little real estate in my living room or in my garage or in the trunk of my car. And I can do all the things I can do with dumbbells effectively with kettlebells with some nuance. But the kettlebells are the ones that I see being used, but I probably see them being used inappropriately most of the time. So here's my take on kettlebells. First off, I do see it as a little bit more in going back to the term you use, the functional sense, more of a dynamic piece of equipment. Like, certainly you can use it to push and pull, right? Like a row or a press, something like that. And they offer a certain amount of variability there. But the kettlebell in and of itself was made to be something that was very versatile in terms of building strength, power, endurance, and stamina the Russian army picked this up very, 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 very quickly. I mean, it was a cheap piece of equipment to use, and it can get you in incredible shape with very little space or time, especially if you're impacted by not having enough resources. The things I see people doing with kettlebells the most are going to be the traditional thing that kettlebells are most known for, which is the swing. And hopefully at this point, anybody that listens to our podcast understands, like, we are very much about making sure like people get to do all the things that they want to do and all the things they should be doing in order to achieve the best level of strength, health, whatever. But if you're a newbie, the swing probably isn't the one you want to go out and master first. Like that's just not one, like, yeah, you're going to feel your glutes. Like, yeah, you're going to feel your hamstrings, but there's so many other things you should be focused on before getting into a dynamic or ballistic movement like the kettlebell swing, which is what a kettlebell swing is supposed to be. It is explosive. So I'm just going to leave it there and then turn it over to you guys. Like, with regard to kettlebell usage, so many things you can do, but going back to the word I used, which is nuance, when you start getting into kettlebells from, say, dumbbells, you have, again, you're trying to isolate areas or joint complexes or things like that. When you start using a kettlebell, there's a certain level of skill that you're going to need to have and awareness that you're going to need to have beyond the dumbbell. That
the load's different.
It's just different. There's a lot of different things without boring people about that or even confusing them. There's a lot of different things. So you just want to be careful about that. CC, kettlebells.
Kettlebells. Yeah. So, Jeff just said the load's different, but I think, the thing that comes to me is the fact that you can move your body around the kettlebell versus a dumbbell. There can be a lot more fluidity with it. You talked about building strength and stamina, but I mean, there's the cardiovascular component that you can get with the kettlebell as well, depending on the application that you're using it. So, the center of mass for a kettlebell is completely different than a center of mass for a barbell. So to get people to, learn to deadlift or pick something up off the ground, the center of mass is so much closer to their center of gravity. It's easier for them to feel and to move through a movement pattern. You can also make it as complex as you want to, working on shoulder joint stability. Let's say using the kettlebell for a bottoms up overhead press, whether you're kneeling or you're standing or you're doing a bench press. It's a fun modality. It's more, I would say, non-traditional, quote, air quotes, whatever.
Unconventional.
Yeah. Unconventional. Yeah. And so, if you're a newbie and you walk in and you see those, they can be intimidating, but yet if you have somebody, that can mentor you through the process or teach you through the process, it can be really fun and it can change up your whole workout. But yet you can also still progress at the same time. So